And Adam and I did our like the Adam and Will reunion sort of tour, 20 years post us like doing our farewell tour.
Mm.
Every night we would stand on stage telling these stories about being young and going to music festivals and getting up to all sorts of nonsense and you'd look out at the audience and think, who are all these old people? Why have all these old people come to? I mean, we're young, so how can all our audience be old people?
Have you ever gone to a high school reunion or anything like that?
Not
For a while.
Not for a while.
I haven't been to any of mine.
I had our school. Just recently, there was I won't go into the full details of this because it's just horrible, but just recently, there was a story in the paper. The headline was basically Australia's worst monster. And I was like, okay, I'm going to like just
Marty
have a
from the early bird show.
Yeah, Marty Monster.
Who is the real monster?
It was Cam Munster. And he was like, I'm a monster.
Monster, not a monster.
It's completely different.
Sorry. Serious topic.
It's good to bring some levity to this before we get to the bits that aren't filled with levity, it was about this horror. Essentially, the article was a very interesting article about, so this victim has been lobbying to get the name of the person who perpetrated against her released. But the reason that he hadn't had it released is he's already in prison serving a 40-year sentence for another crime, but they wouldn't release his name because he still had other court cases and charges pending.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's a very interesting case from the point of view of like this victim saying, but I have the right for my, the person who did these crimes against me, for them to be named. And like, it's part of my, but obviously there's legal reasons why it couldn't happen. And it's a very complicated area. So anyway, this guy's been in prison, it turns out now, for 4 years or more of this 40-year sentence he already has, but he's got a bunch of other charges pending. And then you suddenly started reading through this thing. So he was a PE teacher at school. And he ended up doing these. I won't even go into the details because it's so gross what he did. But it was just he preyed on the most vulnerable and then abused them in horrible ways. And he was my PE teacher at school.
Right.
And it's so... He is a person who I have told stories about, like, post school going, when you're always like, we had this one teacher who was all like,
Handsy
blah, 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 or whatever, like, and it was like, and then you read, like, so I imagine, because in the timeline in that thing, he'd already been moved on from a couple of schools by the time he got to my school. So I imagine there's probably women from my school who, I don't want to I don't even want it. It makes you speculate about these things though, who might have real bad memories about our school. There's never been a lot of enthusiasm. There was a few people who were enthusiastic about like having reunions, but there wasn't like ever a lot of enthusiasm. And I wonder, that's our third teacher that in similar circumstances we've had. I think for
two
my
teachers in my in my high school,
Yeah.
it was a high percentage.
Yeah.
Which makes you wonder if definitely it was easier to it was a less accountability and less oversight.
Well,
right?
this story
And the
was
way-
like about him being moved on from school to school to school and then overseas and whatever. And you're like,
moved on because of complaints.
Yeah.
That's fucking crazy,
isn't it?
Like that someone's not held accountable. But
No.
that happened. I mean, it happened at my
course.
high school,
Yeah.
happened in my local parish.
Yeah.
I think the second biggest monster would have been, my parish priest. I think he is one of the largest sexual predators that's in history in Victoria. But what are we going to do? High school reunions. Oh yeah. So I haven't been to any, not through any circumstances and desire or whatever, but now it sort of got to the point where it's like I just had my 30-year reunion and I was like, I feel a bit weird because I have gone to Facebook and checked out the photos from the 20-year reunion.
Yeah.
And even then I'm like, I don't really know who that person is. And Chambo, though, he's gone to every one of them. And he always will report back and say, oh, so-and-so says, say, g'day and all that kind of stuff. But I always had this feeling of looking at these guys and, my memory of them is 18 years old. That's my most recent memory, maybe in the early 20s. But I sort of, apart from Chambo and a couple other guys, I sort of really moved on from high school and made new friends and moved into, moved cities and all that kind of stuff. So when I see these old men, like in these photos, I'm just like, that's me. Like, that's me. I'm just in denial. I don't see that because I look at myself every day in the mirror. And so it's been a incremental aging. And probably for Gemma as well. She hasn't seen me get as old as these guys. But they would see me and they'd be like, oh, fuck, man, look at you. You're not you're squishy nosed, small eared Charlie Clausen. But it's just, it is well, who's the famous quote, you can never go home again? Like, I do firmly believe that once I move on, I'm not sentimental about stuff. Once I move on from something, I don't ever really hang on to, like, even after Mum died, I've never really gone back to her her house, or I haven't visited her grave or anything like that. It's just not something that kind of I holds value for me. I'm sort of very much live in the now or moving forward, but there is something about being reminded that you're not young anymore because you feel like, it's like you being on stage with Adam. Like, you sort of feel that stuff it's not, you got instant recall of these events, and it's so formative in your life. But then so much time has passed. So much time has passed between when you and I met. Like, it's been 20 plus years.
Yes.
Since we were, jogging on the beach in Bondi and stuff. Like, and now it's, look at us in a studio, we can barely stand. Like, time is weird, right? The way we experience it. It's both a long time ago, but also very recent.
Yes, and also happens all at once in a quantum sense or something.
Yes, the box universe.
Yeah.
All time exists at once.
I mean, I can't think about those concepts because it just seems to me that we live our life in such a linear way. But then you do realize that, like, because when we went through the pandemic, I mean, as you call it, the scamdemic, but like the pandemic, as Charlie's
You're wearing your face nappy, are you?
So, but when we suddenly didn't have those markers of time, that the usual markers of time, I think since then we've been in this global disorientation, even more so than we had beforehand, of not really understanding how time works or how we mark time or how we consistently mark time.
And I think we're also very unforgiving on time passing as well. Like, it's like when you haven't seen a celebrity in 10 years and then they make an appearance and you're like, oh my God, like their hair's grey or they look old. And it's like, yeah, of course. Like, no one is trapped in amber, but
I mean,
apart from Tom Cruise, like, he's done a good job of looking the same for the better part of it.
But he's trapped in Amber Heard, which is like a whole different thing. She's suing him for it. It's fine. It's okay. So back before I got off social media, like, you'd get people occasionally commenting, oh, you've got old or you look old. And you're like, yeah.
It's called time.
Yeah, not much I can do about that. Well, there is things I can do about it, but in my opinion, they don't tend to work out better than just letting time do what time is doing. But yeah, I don't know what people really expect. Like, often you'll see on a news.com.au or whatever, it'll be like, you won't believe what this celebrity looks like now. And then you're like, oh no, that seems about right.
Yeah, that's kind of
they look like them, but like 25 years older than when I last saw them. I guess that is what they look like.
Yeah, and the issue is that there's certain people like a Keanu Reeves or whatever who they seem to look pretty much the same. And so
Liz Hurley.
Yes, I saw a photo of her the other day where I was like, she doesn't look hasn't aged at all.
No.
I mean, I'm sure there's filters and all kinds of shit going on there, but still, like, ostensibly, it looked like Liz. It wasn't like she looked like a Botox version of Liz Hurley. She looked like Liz Hurley. Who wants to be young forever, though? Not me. I just don't want to be in pain. Can I handle that? I don't have to look young. All the things that I'm noticing about my body breaking down, my eyesight, my joints, all that kind of stuff. If I could avoid that. Yeah. And people say that you can, but I don't believe them.
I don't think you can.
No, they are. There's people like, oh, this is why you got to do DDP yoga and all that kind of stuff. It keeps your body like moving and limber and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it helps.
I mean, but I do go to the gym a lot and I'm sore a lot and I stretch and I do all the things. And it's just like, I think just my body's saying, hey, I can't recover like I used to.
Yes.
What are we talking about?
I don't know. Old men complaining about their health. All right. That seems like a middle age. Do you reckon this podcast's not as sharp as it used to be? Oh, my knee hurts. I've got a sore hip. I can't chew my food like I used to.
This is from Elena. How do you pronounce Elena? Elena?
Yep.
Elena?
One of those two, probably. Alina?
Thanks, Elena. Hey, Will and Charlie. On this week's episode...
If you've got time to Alina, you've got time to a cleaner.
On this week's episode, Will loves Love is Blind, which was towards the end of 2025.
Yes.
Featured discussions of Kupiko candies, dating reality shows, taste as the preferred scent, and streaming trends.
Yes.
The intersection of all these things.
Korean. We've done this later. That's
Have we done it before?
This, yeah.
Oh shit! Sorry. Oh god, I apologize. It's been about
Korean
6 weeks.
mini-series or something.
Oh shit!
They make
okay.
these mini-series and they've always got those candies in them.
Oh
and
yeah,
blah,
that's
blah,
exactly
blah.
what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we've covered that.
Yeah.
Did we do this one? Oh yeah, no, we've done that one. Sorry.